punishment will be much, much worse. His punishment will be that he will be in the lowest levels of the hellfire, along with Fir'aun and Haman and Qarun and those people who transgressed the limits of Allah and disbelieved in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this clearly shows us the difference between those two individuals. About these important points in differentiating between different members of the society in relation to the non-Muslims. If we look around, we will see that amongst us and amongst you, there are those who have British nationality and citizenship. Some of you have permanent residence here. Some of you are visitors like myself. So therefore, regardless of our status, our reaction and position towards the people of this country and the institutions should be the same, as has been outlined previously in the lecture. And that is that we deal with these people and their institutions in the affairs of the world and the worldly dealings without any problems. That was how the Prophet ﷺ dealt with everyone else. He used to deal with the Jews. He used to deal with other people. There is no problem with that whatsoever. Whereas we talk and we have this discussion regarding the religion, the position, the religious position. And that is why we mentioned that the basis upon which we should build these relations and these reactions must be realistic, based upon the reality. The fact that the Muslims these days are weak and the non-Muslims are strong. Another fact that we are here a minority. We here are a minority and not a majority. So therefore, we must know that we must follow the legal and available channels that we can follow in order to defend our religion and to show it in the correct light. Whoever can write an article should do so. Whoever can go and have a broadcast on television should do so. Whoever can go and do that, maybe even in parliament, should do so. So therefore we must show that our religion is not like some people portray it and think of it. There is no wrongdoing in our religion. It is a religion of mercy, not wickedness and cruelty. How can you doubt that when we have the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, who was described as being sent as nothing else but mercy for all of the world? That Prophet of mercy ﷺ saying that a person can end up in the hellfire due to his ill treatment of a cat. On account of mistreating a cat, a woman was punished by the hellfire because she locked that cat and imprisoned it, so that neither did she give that cat anything to eat, nor did she allow that cat to eat from the ground, from the insects and other things that the cat can find. In another hadith, this Prophet of mercy ﷺ is telling us that a woman who used to be a professional prostitute, there is a difference between a woman who just commits zina with one man and a woman who uses that as a profession. And she gets paid for it. Every time she commits zina, fornication or adultery, she gets paid for it. So she earns her living through that. So this woman who is described here, she was from the Jews, and she was one of the prostitutes. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made her enter paradise, the Jannah, on account of her giving water to drink to a thirsty dog. A dog that was thirsty. And this hadith I like repeating, and I have talked about many times before. Many times before, but the things we benefit from it and the points that we see and discover when we examine this hadith are amazing indeed. So we find that this woman, this prostitute, found herself extremely thirsty one day. And she came across a well full of water, and she didn't have anything to get that water with. So she was forced to go down the well by herself all the way down and to drink until she quenched her thirst and she came back up. Upon getting out from the well, she saw a dog. And the thirst had driven that dog to start licking the ground and the sand, trying to quench the thirst. So it was extreme thirst that dog was experiencing. And this woman thought, even though she was a prostitute, she said to herself, this is the same feeling I had when I was thirsty. So she had the inclination and the desire to help that dog, that animal. And how can she do that when she doesn't have a bucket, she doesn't have anything to lift the water with, nor does she have a rope? There are no tools available to her. She can't just take the dog and throw it down so that it drinks to its full and then stays down, because there is no food there. Even though it may quench the thirst, the dog will find nothing to eat. So therefore, what does she do? Because she was wearing what we would call the boot, the high level, the high level boot. She took that off and she filled it all the way again. She had to go again down the well and fill it with water. And because she has to use her hands to come back up, she has to use her teeth to hold that boot. So she takes it in her mouth, she comes back up. And it's not easy. And she gives that dog to drink. And on account of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes her go to Jannah. And a very interesting point is that this woman, this hadith does not say that she repented from committing zina. This woman did not, this hadith doesn't say that she stopped her activities, that she stopped what she was doing. But on the account of her having mercy on the dog and given it to drink in such an extreme circumstance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave her. And this is our religion. That is how we believe that a person who may be doing all sorts of sins and committing them, he may be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on account of some great good deed that he may do. And this is our religion, which for every evil deed and sin that a person commits, he gets rewarded, he gets punished, or he gets recorded only one sin. That one sin gets recorded. As for the good deeds, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases them tenfold and 700 times and more. And Allah increases whom He wills. And we should not come in and say that the mercy of Allah limited to something. And alhamdulillah, that the mercy of Allah is not in the hands of people. Otherwise they would try to limit it somehow. We don't say, how can you forgive a prostitute? Like that Bedouin who came to the mosque of the Prophet ﷺ, tied his animal, came into the mosque and said, "Oh Allah, have mercy on me and Muhammad ﷺ, and don't have mercy on anyone else." So the first part is good. Because He says, have mercy on me and Muhammad alayhi salatu. So there is no problem if someone just wants to make dua for two people. That's okay. That's acceptable. So you, for example, say, oh Allah, have mercy on me and my father, for example. But the second part is the problematic one. He says, and don't have mercy on anyone else. That's a problem. And the Prophet ﷺ, upon hearing that, said, this individual has actually tightened something that is very wide. Cannot be tightened, cannot be made so narrow. Because the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that great, that it goes to everything and reaches everyone. Therefore our religion, our true religion, Al-Islam, is a religion of mercy, is a religion of goodness, religion of fairness, religion of